It's often said that a clear conscience fears no accusation. I wouldn't know what drove Adeyemi into hiding in his Oshun village hiding place. Of course, he's been arrested, and in the coming days, we'll be following up with the prosecution. But the details would bring to you later on as the show progresses this morning on the Polity on Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Yesterday, a 56-year-old security officer in a school, Mr. John Ehidreme, was arrested for illegally dumping refuse into a drainage channel somewhere in Ikorodu, Lagos State. According to this video I saw, this man emptied, the height of the kind of waste bins you see in school premises, those very high, hefty ones. Yes, that is what this man emptied into the gutter. And only God knows how long he's been doing this for, because I'd like to think that this was not a mere coincidence. He's been doing this over and over and over again. And this is not an isolated case. Here in Anambra State, once the rain comes out, or once the rain starts and it starts raining, you start to hear people running helter-skelter to dump things in waterways. Kamili Bulia. And of course, Mili Buliata, tomorrow it could be you. Kadi Mili Gebulu, because ebe Mili kwesisi we galo nwea. I really don't know how we're going to get our people to be more responsible with things like this. But of course, we're not going to stop talking. We won't keep talking until someday someone hears. And of course, if it's one soul that we convert today, one person who says no to dumping refuse illegally, that's enough for me. Good morning to you and welcome. I am Chisom Chinedu. Franklin Ebuka, good morning.
Good morning, Chisom. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tony, and to everyone listening to what is going on. Okay, let me start from song here. You talked about Adeyemi, who was arrested, and I looked at the way he has been handled, and each time I look at his face, it reminds me of that very saying that you look okay. I mean, what I'm saying
Frank.
is no. What I'm saying is, I look at the video, the way they handled that very guy. I don't know whether they're trying to intimidate him, because for the police to have gone to somewhere where he was hiding in Osun State to arrest him, and brought him to wherever they brought him, and they sat him on the floor, and they were asking him his name. And I was now asking myself, does it mean that they didn't know who they arrested, or there was something they wanted to
profiling
to put inside of him, maybe inject fear inside of him before any other action will be taken? But in the coming days, like you said, we're going to hear more things about that. Yesterday, he was supposed to be in court, but because he was in hiding, he wasn't there. And the counsel to the police asked the court to issue an arrest warrant, which the court did. And police authorities moved in, went to Osun State and arrested him. And that tells you that if we want to come after you, when I say we, I mean we as a country, if we want to come after you, no matter wherever you are hiding, as long as you have a phone, a cell phone attached to you, they'll be able to track you. Because all those times he's been granting interviews from his hiding places, I knew that somebody could have been, monitoring his movement, trying to triangulate his calls, so that they were able to pick him up. So in the coming days, let's see whether he's going to answer for the charges or whether it's going to be incarceration, as we have seen in some other cases. Then you mentioned the man who was arrested in Lagos for dumping refuse in waterways, or this time if you prefer, in drainage system. If you look at the video, you see how, should I say, how committed he was in doing the damage. But the good news is that the arm of the law has caught up with him. So when he must have passed through the court and get his sentencing, maybe that might help to reset his brain. And that brings me back to Anambra State, because there was ANSEC meeting on Monday, and at the end of the ANSEC meeting, there were some resolutions that were made, which, if the government of Anambra State is going to implement, is going to help us to curb some of the anomalies we have in our society. Let's talk about the very first one, because the very first one is that the government decided that is going to send some proposals to the Anambra State House of Assembly for them to amend the laws regulating traffic in Anambra State. And this time around, they want to go after those who climb the median strip of the road. Just like the video we saw somewhere around Amobia, then the one we saw around Tazan area, where you see all these heavy-duty drivers, the tippers, or actually cross the main road. I don't know by inside Gota where cross the main road, or the person climbs the median strip just to cross over to the other part of the road. Then those who are doing all these illegal U-turns, they also want to, clamp down on them. And this time around, by the time they must have amended the laws, if you are caught doing that, you face the law, and at the same time, they are going to subject you to mental status examination. If I'm going to speak in our language, just though you're going to go to a psychiatric hospital where they're going to check your brain to know whether their brain is functioning well or not. And another thing too is that they also want to do something about the environment. So in the coming days, when government must have done the necessary things, initiating the laws, let's see the kind of action they are going to take. Because I have maintained that the only way we can get Anambra back on the path of sustainable environmental management is when we make the people to take ownership of the environmental sustainability. In that very case, everybody is going to become a police of the environment. If I come to an area and I see the area messed up, I will hold you responsible. In that very case, if not, everybody give the Baba touch. Nobody would even allow you to come to the area and mess that up.
Absolutely.
And then you talk about the last thing I would like to mention this very morning. It's all about Nigerians. What are we doing to make Nigeria better? I'm asking this question because of what happened in Onitsha yesterday. FCCPC went to Awadobosi and they shut down 3 milk producing factories. Why? They are doing that under unhygienic environment. They do their production without treated water. And what they do is that they go and pick up all these very empty cans from where God knows where. Come to the factory and will buy milk and I demand now. And this time around they said it cannot continue.
We'll be back to, of course, chew on that, and Dr. Tunili Thambeki is in the building. Keep it locked.
You're listening to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
Yeah, onye na-ere Malta Guinness. Wetakwa otu bottle Malta Guinness ọzọ. Onye na-ere Malta Guinness. Wetakwa abụọ ọzọ. Mezuo ya atọ.
Ya, iken bottle Malta Guinness ole ka ị chọrọ ịṅụta.
Nwanne m, ọ bụ na ị maghị maka ihe nrite Goodness Dunlad nke ndị Malta Guinness. Anaghị m aṅụ mmanya niile a na nkịtị o. Achọrọ m iji ya wee rite ihe nrite dị iche iche dịka fridge, TV, generator, standing fan, instant airtime, ya na ezigbo ego. Gwam, otu a ka ihe nrite Goodness Dunlad nke ndị Malta Guinness si dị. Naanị zụta Malta Guinness gị, mepee ya, skanụ akara ya, itinyezi akara dị n'okwuchi bọtụlụ gị. Ọ gwụcha, ị nwere ike irite ego ruru nde naira 2 na ihe nrite dị iche iche ruo ngwụcha Ọgọst.
Chai, ikenna, ebinyego m uche anụ nwa kemgbe. Bịa, onye na-ere Malta Guinness, wetara m bottle Malta Guinness now.
Malta Guinness, nourishing goodness for every side of you.
Malta Guinness. Turn your radio up. These are the hottest.
The hottest joints. I love it. Hip hop and R&B.
Good morning, Tony.
Good morning to you, Chisom. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, the good people of Southeast. Good morning, Anambra. Good morning, Onitsha. Good morning, Ndi Osumoho. Good morning, everyone under the reach of our voice. Good morning, Ndolo Akandolo, Ibondin Kuzin, Ndiolubo, Ndolo Nchekwa, our elderly, the pensioners, those who are our senior citizens, those who are our forebearers. Good morning to those who are doing good for one thing or the other, but we are not also going to say things that are pleasing to the government. And then the commissioner asked, can they favor the problem? Also that she has a bad behavior. That's all. The guy did not even go deep to explain those bad behavior. But the commissioner was quick to remind him, look at the children. If you people now go separate ways, the children will suffer. But that's true. But then the commissioner started urging the girl, whatever your husband tells you to do, do it for peace to reign, for the sake of his children. It's not easy bringing 2 people from different orientations, different background. 2 captains can never be in a ship. But at the end of the day, for me, it could be a temporary reconciliation because it will be tested. They will go back to the house. It will be tested, and we'll see whether that reconciliation works or not. But we say we want to see things like this from time to time. Welcome, everyone, and peace be upon you.
Tony, you raised something that is quite interesting. As much as I'd like to think that investigations are still not concluded, two of his children and a person related to the family, they've been charged to court. And I'd like to think that before they were charged to court, some information have been clear enough before that step was taken. I mean, talking about the Adimike story, the Lucky Adimike story that you mentioned, and how that has raised a lot of dust and a lot of opinions from different quarters as to what exactly happened to that man. And it is really sad, especially since, a lot of interest. Yes.
And if you look at the charge sheet, one is talking about same sex.
Yeah, same gender marriages.
What it means that police may have, under their investigation, uncovered homosexuality and then lesbianism. And this time around, the lesbianism, they didn't want to just portray it. But the lesbianism could be because of one Ajibade and the daughter of the man. And the homosexuality, probably what they uncovered from the search they conducted, also untold quite a lot. That's on the other side. And the other part of it, maybe talking about what happened, how it happened, and what transpired. And people have been talking, sharing thoughts based on circumstantial evidence, things that we have cited. But the truth is, detention was actually brewing. The man couldn't have died if not for what the autopsy revealed, multiple stabs.
Did you see the picture? I mean, the man's head.
I'm not
so many cuts. It was such a sorry
And for me
sight.
to say this, there's no way an outsider could have done this without an insider. It's not possible. No,
Okay, no.
Okay, no.
One can no, no.
One can no, yeah. Now's the man.
It summarizes
it. The story of what happened to this very man, I have been carefully trying to avoid it. You know why?
Same here.
Because since the very first day I've been following that very development, I have seen that there's so many interests in that very matter.
So many.
And as it stands now, everybody is talking, and you cannot say that this is who is making sense and this is who is not making sense. For me, what I just stand for is let the police do the honorable thing. The investigation that they carried out, I want to believe that it was very comprehensive and exhaustive and inclusive. Why do I mean? I want to believe that all the parties involved were all, given fair hearing, given the good ground, carried along. Because if you are doing autopsy, for instance, all parties are supposed to be there to witness the autopsy and what have you not. So I just want to give police that benefit of that they should be able to do an honorable thing in this very incident, so that at the end of the day, we should be able to establish what actually happened to that very man. Because from the stories I've had about him, many people depended on him for their livelihood. And almost every year, he empowers people with hundreds of millions of naira. So those people that depended on him for their survival, their life might be hanging in balance now. So the best thing that can be done to him is to ensure that justice is served in that gruesome murder of that very man. So let police do the right thing. At the end of the day, let's be able to establish what actually happened. But I must say that I was curious when I saw,
the wife,
one of the charges, bringing in same-sex relationships. I don't know whether it is the issue in concern to be name dragging. People are going to drag you, but if you understand what you are facing right now, the best thing is to, pipe low, lie low, allow investigations to be carried out, hoping that justice is going to be served at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Let's tell you what the front pages of the papers say. Do not forget we are live on Facebook, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. On our table this morning, we have the Guardian newspaper, Vanguard, Daily Sun, and The Punch. On the front page of The Guardian, the banner headline is Fuel jumps by 100 naira per litre as Dangote shifts a $1.84 billion FX burden to marketers. On page 6, UN scales down humanitarian intervention, hands over to institutions. On page 29, weather forecast predicts daily rain for the next 10 days. On page 2, APC NWC overrules Alia Ayedatiwa. on candidates list on page 5. Battle for regulation may cripple power reforms, NERC warns on page 7. Orire kidnapping, Senate lawyers, arrested, and the other person is put in charge of a commission. It's quite interesting. Reps query OAGF over deductions from MDA statutory funds on page 3. Akpabio, Abbas defend decision to prioritize Tinubu's state police bill on page 3. Those are the stories on the front page of The Guardian.
Okay, so let's get to the Vanguard newspaper, and I must say the very first thing on my mind, the man that planned Vanguard front page. Because how on earth did he capture, the picture of Ademi, the way he was sat on the floor, so I don't know who planned that very page, but what I'm seeing here is the maybe is this best-selling point for the front page of Vanguard at this very morning. And look at the headline that it says PFIPC police nab DG Adeyemi in Osun village hideout. That story is on page 5. It has a writer that says as court orders his arrest for failing to appear, fixes September 30 for arraignment. Why Nigeria's database still fragmented despite NIMS's claims on page 10. Tinubu transmits state police constitutional amendment bill to reps on page 8. INEC chair 6 more funding for elections on page 40. Xenophobia, South African returnees recount ordeals as 315 Nigerians return today in final evacuation. Of course, we are waiting them. And yesterday I saw a resolution that was passed by Anambra State House Assembly. I was talking about how some senators failed to pick return ticket. And he said perhaps they must take a second look at the Electoral Act and see how it can be further be amended. Senate to FG intensify military operations against terrorists. That story is on page 6 of Daily Sun. The riders asked Makinde to withdraw call for UN probe of a Bomosha school abduction. Reps rescind state police bill, pass revised proposal for second reading. You can see the picture story of the principal officers of the National Assembly as he fails to appear in court on page 4. NYC threatens to blacklist hostile core employees, or rather, NYC threatens to blacklist hostile core employers over welfare accommodation on page 28. Oil hits 1 month high of $86.79 as UN-Iran conflict escalates on page 25. I listened to Trump on his interview yesterday, where he was threatening that if Iran fails to return to negotiating table by next week, that he's going to begin to bomb bridges and power installations in Iran. So the little breather we thought we were getting, Lagos NOURT leader on page 4. FG Grand Shell, $11.5 per barrel, task ready to unlock $20 billion investment. That story is on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. 2027 race, INEC recognizes Atiku, 470 ADC candidates on page 9. That's story talking about, because the faction of ADC led by Nafi Bala is claiming that they had access code for them to upload their candidates on INEC portal, but INEC has confirmed that the access code was given to the David Mark-led ADC, and as we speak, the party has been able to successfully upload the names of their candidates for different elected positions. Oyo abduction, Senate, SGF fault Makinde's UN probe demand on page 8. Reps dumps own state police bill, adopt Tinubu's version on page 9. FG ends UN-led humanitarian coordination. That story can be found on page 7. And these are the stories we have on the front page of the newspaper this very morning. And just for us to remind you that we are live on our Facebook page, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You can join the conversation there. And whatever you feel about the issues we are going to raise, you can drop your comment. But don't forget that decency is the key word. And then on YouTube and on Instagram, we are Udala Radio. And we're going to begin with the issues we had this very morning. Of course, we have that the so-called fake DG of the controversial PFIP, whatever it is, that he's been arrested. He was picked up from our Osun State where he was hiding. If he has been taken to Abuja this very morning, I do not know. But all I can tell you is that I watched his video, the way he was being interrogated and the way he sat in the language of people who are in the street. So if it's a matter of the police doing the work or police trying to intimidate, time is going to tell. So, Tony, finally, Adeyemi has been arrested. And can we say that this is the beginning of trying to get to the bottom of what happened in respect to the Presidential Investment Promotion Council that he ran, which the presidency has said is fake? The young man is saying it is not fake, that he was duly appointed, and he has documents to prove that actually he did not fake anything.
Well, for me, Adeyemi is a victim of what he has orchestrated. Because from the look of things, there was a day we looked at his profile and we said this is not the first time he has done something like this. There was a time he flouted himself as the UN peace ambassador and things like that, until UN abused that. And I also said there was never anything like that. And they made a disclaimer being chief executive of a government agency. But the point is, the way he went about it is totally wrong. Look at his confession that he has given money. He was asked to pay 800 million or 600 million or thereabouts for such an appointment. And at the same time, he had made 400 million upfront, remaining about either 200 million or 400 million. As he said, for you to give bribe for an appointment and you openly confess to that, is a criminal offense. What was in your mind when you were making such offer? That others are doing it does not excuse the fact that you committed a criminal offense. That's what we are judging him by his confession. And he said that he paid the money to the chief of staff, Benjamin Miller. But he said he never had direct contact with Benjamin Miller, that he was paid through intermediary. Now the question is, investigations should also reveal if the money actually get into Benjamin Miller's account, because definitely what should indict Benjamin Miller could be what maybe should indict him should be if he had any direct dealings with the man in question, money was received either through his account or through a proxy. If these things are not established, he can still said to be innocent. But the point is, this Adeyemi we have talked about, his PFICP made his way in our budget, and he couldn't have done that alone. For me, the young man does not want to speak and call names because for him, a lot of heads will roll.
Well, he already called Gbajabiamila, Tony, and I am curious to find out if there is something in this particular administration that fed these developments. Like you pointed, and who else but Adeyemi, the man who had claimed an office before in the past? 600 million is not peanut. So he must have this money stashed somewhere. Where did he get all of it from? What is it in this administration that fed it?
When he was asked where did he get such amount of money, he said that he borrowed. That's what he said. That even those that lent him the money, they are on his neck.
And so with the hope of paying back from this...
Is that what it means? He wanted to set up a special purpose vehicle.
For siphoning.
The truth is, Adeyemi is already down with the evidence we have been cited. But we are asking who are also with him. His own is fiat accompli. It has been concluded. He's done already. He has even indicted himself in multiple ways. But the question is, he cannot have done this alone.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that worked with him, and those people that worked with him that are still in the presidency. Adeyemi should start talking. Adeyemi, you are done already. You trying to spare anybody will not bring you up. Probably you want to be like, I won't say more. Let me see if I can get out of this. You know, that kind of thing. There may be the impression that if you say more, those that will help you, don't implicate them. because they may come for you later on and see ways to bring you out. But if you go on to call their names, it means that everybody will be handicapped. They cannot be able to bring you out. For me, that is exactly what is going on. Adeyemi worked with some, not just one, not just two persons in the presidency. That is honest truth.
But if Adeyemi claimed he didn't do anything wrong, why did he run?
No, he never claimed he never did anything wrong. I don't think he claimed. He never claimed. He knew.
He said that this agency was duly established with the help of Bajabi and Miller, who he had to pay so and so amount of money.
That payment, is it right?
I understand you, Tony. But if, like you pointed out, this agency has found a way into the budget, I recall there is a report that the agency even has an office in Abuja. The agency has employed over 300 people. And who knows, they might all have been receiving salaries because who knows if monies have also been released in the past and all of that. The question now is, why did he run? Because it sounded like he's got so much to back his case. Why don't you go ahead and prosecute your case? Why did he run?
For me, he made a very brutal mistake. He couldn't have run, as you said, because for me, when the matter came up, he would have submitted himself to the police, and possibly police will arraign him. They will run the investigation, or they will probably may have spent like months in prison awaiting his arraignment.
Give me a second.
But it could have been much more better than the way and manner he was picked up.
All right, let's attend to this commercial. We'll be right back and the conversation will continue. That small mosquito will you just pursue? It don't look like anything, no. But if it make you sick for days, malaria still day, and prevention day your hand. Tonight, before you sleep, enter your net. Protect yourself.
104.7 Udala Radio.
Bịa onye na-ere Malta Guinness, wetakwa otu bọtụ Malta Guinness ọzọ. Onye na-ere Malta Guinness, wetakwa abụọ ọzọ, mezuo ya atọ.
Ya Ikenna, bọtụlụ Malta Guinness ole ka ị chọrọ ịṅụta?
Nwanne m, ọ bụrụ ịmaghị maka ihe nrite Goodness Dunlad nke ndị Malta Guinness, anaghị m aṅụ mmanya niile a na nkịtị o. Achọrọ m iji ya wee rite ihe nrite dị iche iche dịka fridge, TV, generator, standing fan, instant airtime, ya na ezigbo ego. Gwam, otu a ka ihe nrite Goodness Dunlad nke ndị Malta Guinness si dị. Naanị zụta Malta Guinness gị, mepee ya, skanụ akara ya, itinyezi akara dị n'okwuchi bọtụlụ gị. Ọ gwụcha, ị nwere ike irite ego ruru nde naira 2 na ihe nrite dị iche iche ruo ngwụcha Ọgọst.
Chai Ikenna, ebinyego m uche anụ nwa kemgbe. Bịa onye na-ere Malta Guinness, wetara m bọtụlụ Malta Guinness na.
Malta Guinness, nourishing goodness for every side of you.
Malta Guinness.
Yo, Onitsha, are you ready? The biggest nightlife experience is here again. Secret Palace 0.2. Luxury nightlife redefined. From 8 p.m. till dawn, we're turning up non-stop. Great music, lit vibes, premium drinks, beautiful people, crazy after dark experience. On the wheels of steel, DJ Emma, DJ Young, Swags G, Hype Energy by Hype Man Chris O, Hype Man Shadow. Venue, Family Park Shoprite Complex, Onitsha, Anambra State. Thursday, 16th July 2026. Dress fresh, come correct, bring your squad. 18 plus only, oh. No gate fee. Entry is free. Secret Palace. Hey, don't miss this ultimate nightlife experience. Sponsored by King No More Loss, OJ Luxury Saloon, and the Living Bar. Brought to you by Ewa Culture. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and X at Ewa Culture.
The abuse of illicit drugs among the youth in the country has been identified to have a devastating impact on society.
If it start like just once, just to relax, but before you know it, it don't hold you and things go start to scatter. No way to reach that stage. Say no now. Choose a better life.
104.7 Udala Radio.
You're listening. Get involved now.
And of course, it's still the Polity on Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Before we went on that break, Frankie, we were about to say something.
Okay, I'm going to ask a couple of questions. So, Tony, for Adeyemi, because the issue of why he ran, why he went to hiding, which Chisom asked you, and he faulted him there. Now, Adeyemi said that he went into hiding because, should I say, one of his fait accompli or one of his accomplices by name Dolapo Babatunde Tanimola. Now, the person that he told the police that helped him to get appointment letter, that the man died in a fire incident 5 days after police came after him. Now, if you look at the timeline, you will see that from October 2025, that was when this very man began to host foreign ambassadors. There was one he did at the West Carlton Hotel in Sokoro. I think that was around October 10, 2025. Then get to about October 15, he had another meeting. By October 17, that was when the chief of staff wrote a petition to DSS asking that they should investigate, forgers and impostors. Then by October 22nd, yes, that was when Ademinan told police that this very Dalapo, that he has died in a fire incident that happened at Kachi Hotel in Otako, Abuja. So, if you look at this whole scenario, and if you're wondering if police is going to dig deep to establish or get to the root of this whole thing, to know whether it was Adeyemi and Dolapo who were in bed and tried to whip it through around people, or whether somebody in the presidency was the one who was orchestrating and decided to use an external body to be able to perfect that. So the next thing will now be, how is the police going to go for that? So Tony, for you, from what we have seen so far, the way Adeyemi has been treated, the way the accused have been treated, how do you foresee this very matter progressing from now till that very September when he's going to be arraigned in court? That's number one. Then looking at that very video, the way he was handled yesterday, was police doing its work, or perhaps there was an attempt to inject fear in him, intimidate him, and subdue him before the time of his arraignment?
Well, police was not professional, to be honest, because they had ulterior motive. They wanted to shame the man. The idea of arresting somebody and ask the person to lie or sit on a bare floor, and why he was doing that, you were asking him what is their name, so you don't even know. What an irony. Well, this thing started well until the business went sour. The man did not act alone. You know what it means to bring out 400 million, 200 million, 300? You know what that means? Even the airport offices are at par. What it means at the same level.
This should be higher.
Secretary to the government of
influenced can probably because they run in the same political circle and influences that too. Because I know this person and this person knows me and things like this start to happen.
And not just that, because the office of the chief of staff ordinarily is to monitor the staff under the presidency and report to the presidency. That is basically what that office monitor and evaluate their performance and report to the presidency. That's what it is. Okay. Not on area of appointment or this or that. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with that. Okay. In fact, in the presidency as we speak now, the office, that is the Secretary to the Government of Federation, has 17 permanent secretaries. Do you know there are different units under the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation? You have the one that has to do with political affairs units. You have the one that has to do with... There are so many units to the point that they have up to 17 permanent secretaries in one office. This will tell you how big the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation is. Very big office. But these days we are measuring it with that of the Chief of Staff. But the case, for me, I have said it, office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation is also involved in this, but it is a question of which of the units, because the SGF controls every unit within that office. Now, which of the units is culpable in this case of Adeni? Because there's no way space could have been made possible at the second.
In reality, it might not have come from anybody in government, but the problem is when it is now captured in budget. So that means somebody was able to capture that very council in a budget, suggesting that the young man was working in Kawu with somebody in the presidency. So if we're going to do a dispassionate investigation into this, who and who should be brought in, whether the person is arraigned or not, but who and who should be questioned in order to establish the fact are we also going to absorb the National Assembly, who we are supposed to sit and allow the council or whoever that
is of course, it has to do with council advisory. And we have also maintained, the last we did extensive analysis on this, I did say that the president can set up councils without the approval of the National Assembly. Councils are mainly to advise. But the president cannot set up statutory office without an establishing act of the National Assembly. It's not possible. And most councils are time-bound. They are not there forever. But here in Nigeria, we have a situation where the presidency will set up a council. The council will run for 4 good years, for full cycle. And maybe if the president gets re-elected, the council continues. No, councils are time-bound. They have a specific job within a period of time to deliver, and then it dissolves. But here, it's not so. Where we copied what we copied from. Councils are time-bound.
Okay.
But
Well, we keep our
I don't
fingers
know.
crossed, Tony. After citing difficulties obtaining sufficient crude under the Naira for crude arrangement, the refinery says it has been absorbing significant exchange losses while buying crude oil in dollars and selling fuel in Naira. Industry analysts say marketers are likely to pass these additional FX costs to consumers, with reports indicating a fresh increase of about 100 naira per litre in some markets. And so, Tony, the question at this point is where this puts the ordinary Nigerian. Would we be able to bear the cost of, this entire foreign exchange hullabaloo, especially since we were hoping to breathe a sigh of relief, and then US and US and Iran, they are back on it, and unfortunately, the price of crude is also increasing.
Well, for me, let's leave US and Iraq. It's funny. It is a funny way of encapsulating the rot in our system. We are just trying to play to the gallery, trying to mask the rot, and we will bring Iraq US war. The war
Why I put the US Iran thing side by side is presently we have not been able to balance off from when the price came down. And now that the price is also picking up again, look at all that disconnect.
Why I say so, it's not because of what you said. I'm just saying the authorities and the players in the industry, they try to bring Iran and US war. Did Iran sell any crude to us? Are we selling Iranian crude?
But the Strait of Hormuz is...
What is our business with Strait of Hormuz?
Wasn't that the excuse that we had the first time?
I'm just trying to break these things down. We don't have any business with Strait of Hormuz to start with. The crude we sell in Nigeria, they are actually dug from Nigerians to undermine international market. If all of us agree that Nigeria will sell to Ghana, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and US, let it not be that the price you are selling to this country is not the price. You must sell at agreed price. All of us agreed. So that the market will not be volatile. That is OPEC. It has nothing to do with internal and local consumption. Having established that, why would NNPC and those off-takers sell to Dangote at international market price? It's Nigeria, because if you are when you talk about international price, international, you are dealing with another country, a foreign, because they want it to be so, and they mask it to us and sell it to us. We should know the truth. The oil belongs to us. We own the oil. We can decide to have it at any price you want. But the key thing is, why you are doing that, remember one thing, that government needs to show up revenue, which must be considered. Also remember one thing, that there is need to sell internationally to earn foreign exchange, dollars, because most of the dollars we earn, even the ones coming into our reserve, even the ones we use to balance a lot of things, even the ones we use in debt servicing, these things are foreign exchange. So you need to sell internationally at an international price for you to earn some dollars to attend to your needs as a country. We must put it in balance. What Dangote is saying, one, I'm buying at an international price. Secondly, you are not giving me adequate crude supply. That's the second one. Another reason. And third, I'm forced to sell at dollar as a currency because I buy in dollars. I'm buying from other countries to show up the crude, and then I will say to you in local currency, I will be losing as a businessman. I think, and government is also saying, if we sell to you, we may not be able to make the dollars we need to attend to our local needs.
Era we had before government now came in with the crude for naira arrangements, which tried to help us to stabilize to some reasonable extent. And now we are going back to that very system. So how does it make sense to Nigerians why Dangote is reverting to this system? Is it that the crude for naira, the crude for naira arrangement has ended? Is it that government has not done what it's supposed to do? Or is it that Dangote is trying to pull the string as a businessman? I pull you here, you fall for my bidding.
Well, the truth is, it's not about pulling here or pulling here. From the last I checked, the crude or the naira for crude or whatever they call it arrangement is still in place. Fails to meet the quota agreed, he will need to outsource elsewhere. And in outsourcing elsewhere, he pays dollars. And he cannot outsource to complement whatever government had brought on the table or the deficit accruable from the government side. He cannot outsource it in dollar and then sell in naira. That he needs to balance book. That's his argument. I think that's the problem here. And government on its own, you cannot reach an agreement. Was awarded and even tax waivers, so many things we are giving. Government also helped by bringing about, I don't know how many billion, about $2 or $4 billion in direct cash support. See, the issue is make our refineries to work. At least if our refineries are working, there will be competition. You believe that Dangote is monopolistic?
Well,
you allow that.
That is a long term.
You allow that.
That's a long term one. And who are self-sabotaging? Imagine China calling on Africans to come and manage their refineries.
The truth is, we don't have the skills. If we are asked to put the refinery,
the monies we have been mapping out to make this work, what have we been doing with them?
You are talking about money. I'm also
a sitting president commissioned a non-working refinery in this country, and we gloss it over like nothing.
Remember
happened.
the company that was contracted to turn around the refineries is a foreign company.
And somebody commissioned it. Somebody overlooked all of the mess.
Let me give you the history in a minute. I remember when one of our brothers here, I won't call his name, that was during, I think, the Fifth Republic. That was during the Fifth Republic. He was awarded a contract for turnaround maintenance of the refineries. And money was given. No work was done. Our brother from another state. What happened? He was summoned by the Senate when Senate had some element of integrity. And he came. I watched the whole proceedings. He mounted the podium. The first thing he said that nobody can intimidate me in this country. Nobody. I left my engagement, my appointment in Germany, in United Arab Emirates, in Brazil, and in Argentina. These were places I could have covered to be here to answer to your sermon. And I dare to say to all of you here, nobody can intimidate me in this country.
Is that the question?
And now the question is, what do you think could have made him to have such confidence addressing the senators?
Gives me
that nothing.
He has been absorbing exchange rate losses. According to the refinery, while paying for crude in dollars, it has continued selling petrol to Nigerian market in naira. So if there is a fluctuation in the exchange rate, the refinery is the one bearing that very change or that very fluctuation in that very exchange rate. So for them, they are going to switch to dollar pricing because it's going to align, sales currency with the purchasing currency. And the final reason they gave is this: they said global crude prices have risen. That if you go to the international market now, you see that the prices have increased. And in that very case, it has also increased the operational cost of the refineries. therefore making it difficult for them to continue to sell in naira while costs are largely dollar based. For instance, if you're going to bring in any material for maintenance, that these materials are imported in dollars, not in naira. So since this is a situation, is there any intervention you think that government can think of now
that have refining capacities, and once those things are refined, they will bring it back? So you look at the freight cost. These things add up to the pump price. But now, most refining companies in the world, if you bring crude for them for refining alone, they will do it. And I had thought that could have been the arrangement the government would have entered with Dangote when they supported Dangote with about $2 billion. And they provided Dangote with forex. In fact, there was a time most new generation banks and even most of our traditional banks were directed by the central bank to source forex for Dangote company. And many of them helped Dangote because some of the works and some of the equipments were bought in dollars. And they helped Dangote. But Dangote, being a businessman, would also want to recover in time because he is also owing. He is also owing because he borrowed from different markets for him to meet up. And of course, he is servicing his debt. That Dangote will get this quota. Call Dangote for a meeting and say, let's review this. You can review anything at any time. If he does not agree to the review, you have one option. You may do away with Dangote over the period, because even if you allow marketers to go and import petrol, they will still need forex. Who is going to provide them forex? The same forest you are trying to preserve, you are going to still give to marketers to go and import petrol. So it means nothing. I think the best thing for us here would be call Dangote, the president, and Dangote, they have been talking. The last Mr. President celebrated Easter in Lagos. Dangote went there meeting in person. Both of them should meet and talk. Remember, even I think Wale Tinubu, who is the owner of Oando, I don't know if he's also an importer. Yes! Because Dangote would want situations where government ban all the licenses given to importers and they will all depend on him. And each time government gives an importer license, Dangote feels so bad. It doesn't sit well with Dangote.
It's well.
It doesn't, because for him, he should be allowed to recover his investment, but it doesn't.
When this bread, even children they like when this bread, and in time, when this bread, you get it better, tasty, we go sweet your belly. When this your battery choma.
Wendy's bread, tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, Second Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside CPS, Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza at Tani Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread. Public announcement. On the 9th of May 2026, between 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m., a kind-hearted Nigerian discovered and picked a bundle of money inside a keke heading from Izuchukwu Park, Onitsha to Main Market, Onitsha. If you are the owner or you know the owner, please direct him or her to go to Toronto Hospital and ask to see the secretary. Please help to spread this information.
Mmegbu ụmụaka anaghị apụta mgbe niile n'ahụ. Mgbe ụfọdụ, ọ na-egosi n'omume. Nwata nwere ike ịmalite ịtụ egwu, ịdị jụụ, ma ọ bụ izere ụlọ. Ọ bụrụ na ihe ụdị mgbanwe, biko eleghara ya anya, kwuo okwu, gee ntị, ma kpọọ enyemaka. Child abuse abụghị ihe dị mma.
104.7 Udala Radio.
You're listening to the Polity. Get involved now.
It is your turn to get involved. Put a call across to 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Do you have a minute 30 seconds? Hello, good morning. Are you there? Good morning. You'd need to reconnect. 0803-221-6973. Hello there.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Could you please be a little louder and turn down the volume on your radio set? When you want to call us, please turn down the volume on your radio set. Good morning.
Wonderful morning to you, Chisom Chinedu.
Good morning.
Dr. Tony Santeki, Franklin. Good morning to all of us. So I will take a ringing from Onitsha.
Go ahead.
Well, my speaker did well this morning, but I can see you're optimistic that things will turn out for good in this country. And rightly so, that's a good mindset. But I'm looking at the present administration and politicians or political elite. Can they live up to expectations? These things are so simple to handle, but that is why we are looking for a new Nigeria. A Nigeria whereby you have a good leader that can take on these things and sort them. There's no reason why our refinery can be working. There's no reason why we be doing concession and you see Nigerians thriving outside the shores of this very country. Go to diaspora and see what Nigerians are doing. In engineering department, in the judiciary, mention it in all facets of life. Yes, you see this country going down the drain. You see this country, nothing is working out. You need to see this country. The politicians are sitting tight on what they're doing. So what I'm trying to say in effect is this. I think if Nigeria, if we can get a good leader, but the most important thing is getting a good leader, because you look at the 3 tiers of government, are they functional? The answer is no. You look at most of these institutions, are they functional? The answer is no, because I can't count on any except the telecom industry, which under Obasanjo was introduced, and we can see what the telecom industry is doing. Okay? Apart from it, can you tell me under institution that is functional in this very country?
All right, thank you.
Look at this idea. Now, most of these refineries is still rumored.
You should be rounding off
the
now.
Workers have been paid. Have been paid for doing nothing. Who is in charge of that payment? These are things that will tell you that corruption has eaten deep into the fabric of this very country.
All right, thank you very much. Please, let's stick to 1:30. You almost did 3 minutes. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Good morning. Don't mind my phone. It's quite far from the radio, but the point is I can't move. So bring the radio down. Now, after saying that, well, Dangote, he cannot hold us to ransom, yeah? Maybe we've had a bad deal. We had a bad deal with him. And the oil marketers are not helping issues either. They want to have the bigger chunk at the expense of us, the common man that has no faith. And somehow one is beginning to look at Dangote twice. I don't really know where he's coming from anymore. So we must call him to order. At least when the people talk, I'm sure he will listen. Please, Ogidi Dada.
Yes?
Osibia Ike, ọ na-anụ okwu bụ nwoke anwa. Ọ na-anụ okwu. Ọ na-ekwu okwu obi ebele. Osibia ama m ikwu.
Morning.
Hello, good morning, my speaker.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Also, frankly, this is Akamere. Yeah, and Akamere always calls from Peggy. I want to react on this Dangote issue. I've been saying it here, even when Dangote was, trying to open this refinery. We said it, that this exactly is what his plan will do, because the man is, I don't know the kind of name I will just name that man. He wants to just, suffocate Nigerians. And the reason why he's doing this is because we know that, government supports him. These people are telling us that government should call him to order. Which government will call him to order? All of them are investing in this company. So they know that even whatever he does, nobody will call him to order, because they know what he's doing.
Okay,
exactly
thank you.
The reason.
Thank you very much, Akamere. All right, then put your thoughts together, put a call across. You have a minute. 0803-221-6973. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone in the studio.
Good morning.
This is is get them. Is that package already getting from Osimo?
Go ahead, please.
You see, why wouldn't Dangote be doing what he's doing? I mean, what wrong has he done? Give every person who can refine fuel, give me access to crude oil. I can do it myself. We did it during the Nigerian Biafran War. We refined fuel here in Adazani. Then it should show we are filled with kerosene. We will produce fuel, we will bring fuel, we will bring out coal gas, which is the product of it. What are you talking about there? You can go down to it. Give us crude oil. You see fuel everywhere here. What you do is to the people who will control it, those who will know the quality they need, those who can produce it, they will be ejected out of that system. My name is Amakeze.
Thank you, Amakeze. Good morning. You need to reconnect to 803-221-6973, 0828276694. Good morning.
Good morning, Tito. Good morning. Good morning. Frankly, good morning. Pastor, we will call you from Onitsha.
Go ahead, please.
For my day issue and Samuel Bajapia Mila, I think Nigeria has a lot of things to cover, and Nigeria is taking all this citizens for granted. They think that all of us are morons, that nobody knows what is going on. We know what is going on. Nothing will come out of that case. We already know. They shifted the case in September for them to have a level program to do whatever they want to do. I don't blame that man. That man is running for his life. And somebody that is running for his life, you know, there is no way you can fight the government. And you know that head will go if this man keep on bringing out what is in that outer rock. A lot of red heads will roll. But he don't want to do that. He wants to save the person who has taken it on. This man keep on saving those people. He wants to save them. He will go down. It's better he come out and go down with those people. That is it. On this of Dangote, I think that Dangote what he's doing is not supposed to be doing. Nigeria has paid their crude oil almost for 10-20 years up front. And then what do you want Dangote to do? He will buy from outside Nigeria, he will come and sell it for Naira. Don't take his war, his little business. Nigeria has sold up front. I read it somewhere that Nigeria has sold up to 10 years to 15 years up front. Their crude oil is under the Buhari's regime. And then what do you want Dangote to do? Nigeria is a mess. Thank you.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. The two in the studio is Okezon. One from Akwara Community of Film State. I asked this question. Why can't we give Dangote 100% supply of the crude? This is something that we have in our land. Areas that produce yam is very cheap in that area.
Okay, Zono, let me help you address this point before you continue. If you do that, where will you get the dollar to service the debt you are owing? If you do that, where will you get the dollars to give multinationals operating in your country for the purchases we are making in Naira? Airlines, there are so many of them. There are so many companies that you have to pay them in Naira so that they can also get the dollar back from CBN. Where do you get the dollars? For even the export, there are many Nigerians that are importing from China. They will go to CBN. Our businessmen at main market, if they go to CBN, where would they get the dollar to import from China? Okay. Not outside China, other places. Please go on.
What I'm saying here is that this petrol, we can have our own price here in Nigeria, and they have a different price at the international market.
That is it.
That is what I mean.
That is it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That is it.
Okay, so before the first messages, let me put out this other question. So have it at the back of your mind. Okay. If you have time, we'll address it. One is the possibility that Femi Bajabemela is a victim of circumstance. Okay. That maybe somebody used his name to play at him. Then secondly is what the last person said. Nigeria has crude oil production capacity of up to 1.9 million barrels per day. But if you check our records since 2020, I think 2020, we have not been able to meet this. In fact, the highest we have gone since 2020 till now is 1.56 million barrels per day. And you'll be asking questions. Sometime around June this year, we average 1.73 million barrels per day. So what is the possibility that we can close this very gap and be able to have enough? What you do for exports, perhaps you might be able to have enough for you to meet what Dangote is requiring. Now, let's get to the Facebook page. Chijoke Ononeme, he said he posted from UK. He says NNPC didn't want to allow Dangote full autonomy because it will not favor Nigerians. On the price of PMS and diesel, the price increase is in all other oil producing countries, include the USA. Okay, thank you for loving us. Sunday Amen says it's unfortunate that every year we graduate petrochemical engineers and they work our street jobless. Now the government is negotiating with China to come and run our refinery, and he says that he's ashamed of our leaders. He posted from Omaba. Zekwa Celestine says Dangote selling fuel in dollars. This is absolute madness, or should I say the sign of a weak, failed government. And he says, come to think of it, with things like this happening in the UK or USA, buying something in Naira as Nigerians living in the US or UK, I don't know why these people are bent on subjecting Nigerians to more hardship on daily basis. And he's suggesting that Nigerian refineries should be handed over to capable private pilots if the government cannot fix them. Matthews from Mocha says Dangote is not here to save Nigerians. We should know that. Christopher Ikechukwu from Mabatan Suba says, as Adeyemi's gate will be open soon, it's expected that more notable names in the presidency will be included. If at the end, with the confession he has made already, and Bajaber Miller didn't make the list, then the biggest scandal has been unjustly handled. Our eyes are on the police, court, or whatever investigative agencies that will be concerned. Omagan Namani, also Francis Omagan Namani, watching from Aguns in Enugu State, says the arrest of Adeyemi is a good one. However, appropriate investigation and interrogation should be carried out to unravel the circumstances surrounding the bribery scandal. And the Okuyang Lika from Umoji, thank you for following. The Collins Uzomo, okay? Thank you. Chukwemeka Anthony says, you won't call the name of the man who plunged the nation backwards because your hands are sword. What did he say? Did the said man for Anambra not appear in Senate chambers? And he asked, did the news not cover it? So why are you now shielding him? Okay. Gregory Thaddeus says, he posted from Asaba, the scandal involving the chief of staff will not pin him down because he will be the judge in his own case. And Ifedio Ramobi, thank you for posting from Onitsha. Jeff Bishop says about the fake PFIPC. My question is, who presented their budget estimate to the Senate and who defended the budgets in the National Assembly? If you go further in this case, you will see how many heads will roll in the government. For me, this court case will soon fizzle out in order for a cover-up. Chepu, Bishop from Ghana. And he added, the rise of crude oil in the international market is supposed to be a blessing to Nigerians, but instead, it became a curse to Nigerians. And he's asking, who does this thing? Okay, Omega Francis, thank you for following and for the comment that you dropped by.
All right, then, Tony, your final words as we take down the curtain on today's edition.
For those supporting Dangote, there is a rational question many people have neglected. And that rational question is, Dangote, your complaint is that we are not giving you enough to complement based on the quota, and now you are selling in Naira, right? You are selling in dollar. Sell in Naira the one you obtain. If, let's say, the quota says we're going to give you 500,000 barrels a month, let's assume, or a day, 500,000 barrels a day. And in that 500,000 barrels a day, the government provides, let's say, 150,000 barrels. Dangote, you are shopping for, right? 350, right? Then 150 also. Sell it in Naira because you obtain it in Naira.
Okay.
It's important. People are not even noticing this, but the truth remains, just like I said earlier on. If Dangote were to be in UK, will we be selling products in dollars? It's a question. Because in Naira, we have a law that says whatever product or service rendered in Nigeria must be bought in Naira. That's a law.
Very valid. Thank you.
A law. So, if there is any condition that will force you to go against that law, you need permission from the courts.
Imagine us buying everything that was imported from China in
Dangote needs court's pronouncement to sell in dollars. Outside that, he is committing an offense.
All right, Tony. Franklin, your final short.
You know, the thing is Nigeria will grapple with such a situation for a long time until our dependence is taken away from other countries. Why did I say this?